Join us today for a kind of large update to BattleTech products and the Kickstarter. Welcome back to those of you who've been here before. Welcome to those of you who are new to the channel. This is going to be another BattleTech Kickstarter and product update. We had initially wanted to try to space these out a little bit to do like 2 of the Kickstarter updates at once, like we did the last one. So we're not just pumping these videos out every 2 weeks, I think is when they update them. However, they decided to update a lot of other things, so here we are. And here we go. All right. So, Chad, do we have a new picture this week? I can't tell.
That's the same picture but different background.
Okay. So, essentially the same picture we've had for the last 6 updates.
Same words except for it says preview 7.
Yes. So moving on, maybe. There we go. Technology, I love it. So, same page 2 as near as I can tell. So let's see what we have this week. It looks like the Fire Starter, which is going to be available in the Inner Sphere Recon Lance Force Pack, the box of which is shown there, obviously empty. And then the Skulker Wheeled Scout Tank, which will be found in the Battlefield Support Recon and Hunter Force Pack. So let's check out these designs here. So some top flight older artwork here.
Yeah.
That is the first Fire Starter and Skulker Wheeled Scout Tank illustrations. Originally drawn by Dwayne Luce, who as near as I can tell did all the old artwork at this point.
I mean, why not? It keeps it all consistent.
Yeah. The Fire Starter is first published in 1986 in TRO 3025, and then the tank came out in TRO 3026 a year later. For those of you at home, which I'm assuming is all of you because you're not here right now, I believe...
But what if they're watching at work?
My point is they're not here. Like, home is what you make of it. This isn't even my home or your home. This is no one's home anymore. So, to my point, I believe both of these are in the TRO 3039. Could be mistaken on that, but that combined a lot of things from those two.
So I would just like to point out,
Yeah.
the Skulker Wheeled Scout tank does not look like what we would think a tank should look like.
Well, sure, it's... Yes.
It does not have a turret with a big gun on it, or even a little gun.
Well, it's got a turret, I think.
It's got a dome.
Yeah, but that's probably
and a
turret.
radar dish.
That's probably a turret, though, so let's
and then it's
see.
Wheels instead of tracks.
Well, yes, it's a wheeled tank.
We call those APCs.
Only if it actually is a personnel carrier.
Well, that holds more than a crew of
Like we have the Striker.
4, 5.
We have the Striker, which is a wheeled tank. I'm just saying, like, they do exist in the real world today. Like, it might not be a 100% officially that's really genuinely a tank, but per this game, that's a tank.
Don't look like what I think a tank should look like.
Well, fair enough.
Looks like someone took the Sunday morning van and put a dome on top.
No, that's not a van. That's a lot closer to the Herkimer battle van than a regular van. A little Mystery Men reference for those of you who didn't get that one. If you didn't get it, go watch it.
It is a good movie.
So let's move on. Here we see the redesigned Fire Starter.
I see one thing that is consistent with all these updated map designs with the drawings.
What's that?
They're getting rid of the mechs missing a leg day.
Yeah. They look
All
more,
the legs have been bulked out.
they look more like potentially actual war machines now. But yeah, so here's the fire starter, the walking war crime. This now, mind you, the fire starter actually has another design, the Dark Age version of the fire starter, which is not the one being redesigned here. This is the older one being redesigned. So the Dark Age one, you find that in the metal Iron and Metals line. But yeah, basically a little note here, just trying to bring everything up to the more modern standards and trying to square everything up.
I like the one on the right more than the one on the left.
Well, the one on the right's probably we'll see.
Because the one on the right, they put vents on the flamethrowers.
I mean, maybe. Could be some other weapon.
Could be, yes.
I don't know if that's a weapon compliment to tell you for sure. Probably machine guns just to
By the way,
the war criminess.
The proper use of this is actually supposed to be like overheat enemy mechs, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the proper use.
But like, I'm pretty sure that's not where the pilots go to stop in the middle of battle.
No, they use these things in urban combat, typically against infantry. That's why this thing is called the walking war crime.
One of them. Don't forget the piranha.
Yes, I can't forget the piranha. All right, so moving on.
So named because it chews everything up.
So here's the remake of the tank. So it says the primary design intent was to move away from a car and more towards a truck.
It still looks like the Herkimer battle van.
And so they mentioned that it already had like an unusual wheel placement, and assuming that last one on the bottom there, that should somewhat satisfy Chad. And that there's
it looks like it's a turret now, not a dome.
There's a turret with an actual cannon on it, and probably missiles. But yeah, so moving on.
Ooh.
Here we have some renders for the fire starter.
They went with the one with the vents.
Then going again here, the renders for the truck. I'm sorry, the tank. Yeah, the truck. Yeah, I like the look of it.
Don't know about that backside though.
Well, it's probably not a fusion-powered vehicle, so well, I'm assuming since it's got the smokestacks, I'm assuming it's an internal combustion engine, but we'll have to see. And here we see them painted up. Chad, you'll like the
Federated Commonwealth.
You'll kind of like this.
Federated Commonwealth, huh?
Yeah.
But painted up as Lyran Guards.
Yeah, and then the other is the tanks painted up as Comstar for the Com Guards.
Space AT&T. They have tanks.
Yeah, they got more than that. So here we see the fire starter in action, and unless I'm mistaken, it is committing a war crime in the
No.
picture.
That's not a war crime. That is elemental in their battle armor. Not a war crime.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Pretty sure it is.
Like, he is clearly looking at it too.
By the way, horrible design on flamer fuel storage there.
Oh yeah, that's. I mean, there's no safe place to put it on a mech, but that's definitely not a safe place.
Like, give it some Warhammer 40k shoulder pads at that point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the same universe where people have the munitions all stored inside the mechs.
Although, I'd also like to point out, it is holding back on its flamers. It's only using 2 of the 3 available. It has one in the center chest.
That's probably what that is. I'm assuming that's what that is. Yeah, let's see if the tank's just randomly running over a civilian here or something. Nope, a little stroll in the wilderness. See, this is where the fire starter should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's still the new truck aesthetic. It's a tank, not a truck. Well, anyway.
Maybe they'll rename it.
I doubt it. So then here we have some actual models here.
Do you think the fire starter we could get flame effects for the flamethrowers?
I mean, not from Catalyst, but I'm sure that there's probably someone on Etsy that makes things like that.
If not, I can make my own
Yeah.
and put a little elemental inside of it.
Well, anyway, so these look pretty good to me. So
Yeah, looks good to me.
let's see what we got here. Well, here's the fire starter painted up like a Highlander battle neck.
Should have stuck with the Laren Guard.
So didn't know the Highlanders were down for war crimes like that, but I guess they are.
Everyone is, Bobby. Everyone is.
Yeah, but there's degrees of bad in BattleTech. Like, no one's good, but, you know...
No one's loud bad, huh?
You know, I still think Kirita's the real, like, if I was going to brand one an absolute villain, that's the one I would go with personally, but... I've kind of explained this little diversion here, folks. Kind of explained this before, that to me, Lao evil is like cartoon evil, okay? You know, it's the kind of thing that like a mustache twirling villain would do. Yeah, in the real world, obviously, it's horrible, but it doesn't remind you of the real world. It's just like, oh, those crazy Capellans. Meanwhile, House Kirita, their military is just like wildly sexist. They execute people who practice other religions. You know, they have very strict enforcement of their laws. They're definitely the, oh, well, your great-grandfather upset me, so, you know, you and all your progeny are destined to be slaves forever. Like, and then there's the Kentari's massacre. Like, they're real-world evil, and it just doesn't sit well with me. So... That's a personal preference. Folks.
And then Steiner's just very corrupt capitalism.
Yeah, I mean, Steiner and Davian do shady things too, but like, typically not like massacre tons of civilians type shady, typically.
Hey,
but
Lao does shady things as well.
I never said they didn't. They are evil for the most part.
Mr. Use nukes when you're not supposed to.
You know, you do what you can get away with. So anyway... Let's move on. Here's the tank.
In
or
Highlander
truck,
color.
possibly.
It's a tank.
Made up in Highlander color.
Apparently. I don't believe it, but sure.
So then, yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks way better than anything I'm ever going to paint. Well, mainly because of the base. I could probably actually match that paint job, except maybe...
Good luck on the plaid.
Yeah, maybe the plaid part. That might... Well, it's probably a sticker, all things considered.
Probably not.
But, yeah, one of these days I'll actually have to show off the mix I have painted so far. It's not many, but I think they look alright. Alright, moving on.
It's not many, but it's many, huh?
Yes, it's not many, M-A-N-Y.
I know!
Well, you know, Chad...
I know the spelling.
The folks at home might not. And I don't do, like, captions for our videos, so... Okay,
the pun is ruined if you spell it out for them.
Moving on. So both the Firestarter and the Skulker are in in recognition guide. 28, which is already available, and they are working on a compilation of some of the items from these to be in print. So if you prefer that, you might want to hold out. It's up to you. These are only like $3 or $4 a piece. So, but there are at least 28 of them, so it does add up. Then. Perception of Victory, Mercenary Tales number 3 by Michael J. Sierravella. Those of you who are watchers of the channel know that we recently reviewed some books by Mr. Sierravella. At least those books I thought were good books, so this is probably a decent storyline. Also, this is probably a follow-up to the Highlander Covenant issues, if I understood the blurb correctly from the other page, but we'll see when I get over there, because I believe this is the Lao versus the Highlanders, round 2. Only now, probably no backup from the Republic, since there's no more Republic.
But it points out Republican sphere right there.
I'm aware. So, just saying. But we'll double check, because the blurb is over in another thing we're going to be covering here in a minute. So then the next book, well, short story. These are also very likely going to be compiled in a physical book, by the way.
So, Rasselhag Dominion versus the Night Lords.
It's Hansen's Rough Riders, I believe, but
That is clearly the symbol for the Night Lords from Warhammer 40k.
if it were, they would be being sued right now because Games Workshop is incredibly suit happy, just like a certain other harmonious golden company that we know about.
Yes.
So this is Mercenary Tales number 4. Obviously something to do with the Rasselhag. Oh, sorry folks, that's my bad. I jumped the gun. With, as Chad said, the Rasselhag Dominion, and like I said, I believe that's Hansen's Rough Riders. And this one is in the Ill Clan era, so let's see what's going on there. So now to the page that I just spoiled. Here is the Highlanders Command Lance, which we've probably seen before, which features, not very surprisingly, a Highlander, a Warhammer.
Firestarter?
No, it's not Firestarter. That's a new one.
Didn't they say it'd be in this?
No. That's going to be in the Mercenaries campaign, the Kickstarter campaign. I believe it's a Banshee, and then I don't know the one on the far left, the lower left. And I could be wrong on the Banshee. That's kind of a guess. But yes, and this also again refers to the Paid in Blood, the second book of the Highlander Covenant duology, which we did a review for, which there's probably a thing floating above Chad's head in the little box somewhere, maybe over on the...
Why is it always over my head and not over your head?
Because that's where YouTube puts it. Although it probably won't be, because we're actually up here in this little corner, so it's actually going to be over here.
Oh.
Probably. I don't know. We'll see. I'll draw an arrow for whenever I know it's going to flash to point to your head.
Cool.
I really won't. That's way too much work in the editor. So this is again talking about the pre-launch page on BackerKit, which you guys should definitely check out. And it's going to start March 23rd, which is coming up on us here. And we'll go live from Adepticon. So if you happen to be in the greater Chicago area and want to go check that out, you definitely should.
Yeah. We could not make it work this year, but...
Well, we probably can't. Remains to be seen.
I do not have the time off for it.
Well, I mean, there's 2 parts of we, plus another part that's not here, so...
Enjoy if you do go. I will be very disappointed.
I'm just saying that, like, it's probably not going to happen, but stranger things have happened.
Yes, it's a Netflix series.
Yes. So that is it for the Kickstarter update. But now let's see what else the good folks over at Catalyst have for us.
New shirts!
We have new shirts, which feature the Republic of the Sphere and the Highlanders this time. Then, again, the book that was the short story. Sorry, I keep saying the book. It's not a short story. And let's see here. This is just Capellan Invasion Round 2, essentially.
Capellan Invasion 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, so... yeah, so depending on when this takes place, it has the Dark Age symbol, but if this is this has to be after the first books, the first and second book of the duology. And that second book, as I recall, ended like 4 days before Clan Wolf entered the Terran system. So this has to be after Clan Wolf has taken Earth. In which case, the news that the little blurb here speaks of from the Republic is there's no more Republic.
Clan Wolf has taken over Terra.
Now, the news could be that there's a bunch of stragglers from the Republic military that are about to show up and are about to make Northwind their new home base.
And be like, hey, we want to be part of you guys now.
Well, depending on their numbers, it's probably more like you're going to become part of us now, but yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Normally I don't buy these little short stories, but this one I might check out. I typically wait for them to be printed all together. So, now we have a new premium figure. It's a Phoenix Hawk. And these are printed here in the U.S. They're plastic, but they come with extra parts, so you can pose them in different ways. You assemble them; they're not pre-assembled. And they've done a few other mechs like this. A couple of them have been new designs that weren't in the other sets, but this is revisiting one that you can get already in. I believe it's in the Alpha Strike box set. And it's in at least one of the Lance packs. I'm actually kind of surprised there's probably not a jumping variant just yet, unless I'm forgetting one, because this is like the jumping mech. For those of you that don't recognize it here,
Yeah, I would like it in a Lamb variant.
wouldn't we all? Deep down, even Harmony Gold wants to see that happen, right? Harmony Gold.
Yes, because they want a lawsuit.
Well, I mean, sure. But yeah, this, for those of you that don't know, this is one of the designs that was definitely taken from Japanese anime. Macross, is that the
Macross and Robotech.
Yeah. The initial version here in the United States was Robotech, and in that series, a mech similar to this is able to transform into essentially an F-14.
Similar.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically an F-14, and this was also the basis for the Transformer Jetfire. So his original version can do that.
Yeah, and had instructions on how to do it.
Yeah.
And then they got sued.
So the original Lamb was the Land Air mech, by the way, not lamb as in a sheep. Version of this particular mech had the ability to convert into what essentially is an F-14. So now there are newer versions for some of these mechs. I think the Phoenix Hawk is one of them.
Yes, the Phoenix Hawk is a rescene.
But they redid the design, so the Phoenix Hawk, so the base mech does not look like this, and its air mode does not look like an F-14. Although they could probably stick with the F-14, I mean, as long as the Navy doesn't try to sue them.
Yeah. Or, talk to Hasbro and be like, hey, we want to use a Jetfire design for this.
Could make a miniature of Jetfire? Oh, no reason.
Yeah, no reason.
For those of you that actually want one in roughly the right scale, I don't remember if it's Ares miniatures or Fortress miniatures, but one of the two of them, it might be both of them, they're third-party sellers, do carry a Japanese toy line that has these in roughly the right scale, that are actual Macross pieces. So, if you want to do that.
Random bit of information, there is a Robotech board game, I think, tabletop game.
Yeah, miniature game something. Yeah.
That uses the Veritex and Zentradi stuff. It is literally just like models shrunk down.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much assembling it like it's...
Yeah, I've heard some of those are a major pain.
Yeah, very fiddly from what I've heard.
Yeah. I don't know if they're quite current like Ironwind Metals Marauder 2C fiddly, but for those of you that know, you know. All right, moving on. Oh, so anyway, this thing is like, it's like $20, I think, for one of them. But they're available on the Catalyst Game Store, and I'll try to put links to all these in the description, so just look down there. Then, No Grave Your Honor. This was a series of short stories about the Aerodania Light Horse, and now it's available as an audiobook. I've not listened to any of the audiobooks for BattleTech, but I hear they're good. And it's got all the, here's the various authors that have contributed to it. Then also, they have received restocks of the Beginner box set, the Game of Armored Combat, the Clan Invasion box set, and the Clan Invasion salvage boxes. Those are these single random mechs.
Yep.
To be clear, based on the price, that is not an economic way of assembling a force.
Nope.
Only buy them if you like want to use them as prizes, or like just want to have like a surprise, like, hey, I'm going to use these for you, can use these for like whatever we got, that's what we got kind of thing. Or if you just, have to have that hit. but do not build your force with these.
No.
Like they're like $7 or $8 a pop versus like $20, $25 for 4 that you know what you're getting.
The reason we have so many is we just got free ones with the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And then at Gen Con last year, they had them for just a few bucks a piece.
Yeah. So now it does note that the beginner box is the Vindicator cover, but just so everyone knows, that will be that's the one going forward. The other one has the Griffin on it. That's the older one. The Vindicator one is replacing the Griffin box. It's not like they're going to bring back the Griffin box in another printing. It's done. Some places do still have it though. If you'd prefer to get a second Wolverine for some reason, because there's already one in the Game of Armored Combat box set, that's why they swapped to the Vindicator. So now between the two, there are no duplicates. Okay, and then I believe this is the last part. These are free record sheets for the Mercenary Force Packs. Those are the various sets that have been coming out, like the Eridani Light Horse, the Highlander, the Kellhounds, all those guys that I think we've covered in another video. But
yeah.
these are the record sheets for regular BattleTech. And there's a link here for a download page. It also includes the upcoming Snords Irregulars and the Urban Mech Force Pack, which hopefully they have a picture of them here. So, then, excuse me for just a second, folks. Then we just have a reminder. They're going to be at Adepticon. They're going to have a talking about their live stream, their schedule, some notes here on all that. Then we have a list of guests who are going to be there. It's the people I would expect, you know, Randall Bills, Lauren Coleman, Ray Restia, maybe, Brent Evans, Anthony Scroggins, and so on. So yeah, like these are basically the people I would expect to be there.
So what time does the live stream start?
I don't know.
There's a link.
Well, there is, but I mean, the people can check it out themselves. Like, it's in a couple weeks. I'm sure we'll. Now, see, here we go.
Oh, it is all day long.
Yeah.
Actually, initial launch 10 a.m.
But yeah, folks, you should check it out yourself because I can't read that. And I'm guessing you can't either.
10 a.m. to 11 a.m. initial launch. Lauren,
that's-
Randall,
that's-
Brent, John, and Ray. That's what I was wanting to know.
Okay, well, that's right. I would want to read the whole thing.
Like, that's all I want to know.
Okay. So, yeah, that's all the fun stuff going on online here.
So where can we watch this live stream at?
Online.
What website? Twitch, Catalyst,
I don't know. It's up to them to advertise it.
Twitch.
Twitch, it looks like. And there's a link here. It's also going to be on YouTube. So,
Yes. 6 Sides of Gaming.
yeah. So, let's maybe stop recording on this guy to come back to the real world here, such as it is. So, there you have it, folks. That is all the product updates. I'm going to have to check our last video because I don't know if we covered Snords Irregulars pack and the Urban Mech pack or not. If we didn't, I will try to include them in the next one.
I do not believe we did, Bobby.
Or I suppose if we didn't, because Chad probably won't be here, I'll just film something to tack on to the end of this video. So if some point in this little conversation we're having right now, all of a sudden this gets interrupted by another computer screen and me talking over it, now you know what happened. Sorry to interrupt the video, folks, but turns out that there are some things that we missed. There was another product announcement the week before we filmed this one.
where there were some things that are announced that are going to be available at Adepticon. A couple different force packs. One is the one you're seeing here, the Proliferation Pack, which has 7 battle mechs in it. Now, each of these represent the first battle mech of each of the houses, as well as the first for the Terran Hegemony, which would be the Mackie, and the first Clan Omni-Mech. Now, I don't know nearly enough about them to tell you which ones are which here in the box, but that's why there are 7 in there instead of the 4, 5, or 6 that you're used to seeing up to this point. And that's going to retail for $44.99. And like I said, it's going to first be available at Adepticon here in a couple weeks, but they expect that these will be available by late spring through standard distribution. None of these are exclusives to any particular shipping area or system, and they're not exclusive to the convention. So, moving on, we'll have the Urban Mech Lance, which I was mentioning in the video right up to the point that I cut it off here. These Urban Mechs are all with different weapon loadouts. Here, hang on. Let's see if I can... Nope. That's not going to work. Oh, there we go. So, yeah. Hopefully you can see these here. They have different loadouts, and I don't believe any of them are the standard either. So these are 4 new ones. No sign of the nuclear armed one, but you know, can't have everything. This will be $30 for the Urban Mech Lance. Then we also have Snord's Irregulars Assault Lance, and let's see, this one actually has 2 new mechs in it as opposed to a lot of the others. Now, one of the new mechs is the Spartan, which I'm not sure which mech in there is the Spartan. Actually, it's probably the one in the back right-hand corner. The one, if you go diagonally left down, that's a Highlander with a different weapon variants. Then if you go diagonally left and up, that is what they call a Franken mech. It's where you take parts from different battle mechs, cobble them together, and hope it works. I believe this one is a combination of an archer, a rifleman, and possibly some other things. And apparently it comes with an alternate head to represent when that got replaced or something. And then go diagonally left, that is a guillotine. I don't think you can see it, but that's one of the jumping mechs, so it has the jump jet exhaust plume in the back. And that'll also be $30. Then, yeah, this will be available regular distribution, not an exclusive. And likewise with the Urban Mech Lance. Here, let's, I don't know why it's, yeah, here we go. Yeah, the one that, if you, as long as you can see my cursor here, the top, but on the left, that's the weirdo Franken mech. And that little bit kind of off the left arm that looks like a Warhammer arm, that's the alternate head that I believe it's from a Phoenix Hawk. So yeah, that's something. Then the first TRO from the recognition guides is going to be out. This is the classics. So this, I'm assuming, is, yeah, so the better known Innisphere Clan and Comstar battle mechs, the updated ones, because those recognition guides also had new machines, but these would be more the ones that were updated. And this is volume 1, so there will be more of these, but this is a print product. So yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing this for wide scale availability too. Then we have a couple of Alpha Strike battle mats. Now, these are like the kind of mouse pad-y material, and what makes these Alpha Strike in particular is there's no hex grid on the battle mat. It's just the artwork. So, because Alpha Strike technically doesn't use the hexes unless you use the rules for the hexes. You measure the distance. So, yeah, you can see here that it's the it's probably the desert map pack on one side and the forest on the other. So, yeah. Or something like that. But, yeah, there's no hexes, as you can see. They just roll up. And these will be $39.99 each. And then there's the counters, which this is, let's see. This has, I think it has all the stuff that's in the Alpha Strike box set, as well as some new stuff. Rivers, roads, large game templates. Has a whole second set of the buildings. Reference sheets for the game tables. That's probably why I'll buy it right there. Because with those, as long as you know the order of things, you don't even need the rule book at that point. That'll be $25. And I've never shown it on our channel, but from the Kickstarter, the one there on the top is a plush urban mech, and it looks like they're making some other plush units here. So, yeah, looks like several of them. So there's going to be an urban mech, another urban mech for House Lao. According to this, the Death Commandos, so expected to be mostly black. A Phoenix Hawk for House Kurita, a Phoenix Hawk for the 21st Centauri Lancers, an Archer for the Kellhounds, an Archer for the Wolf Dragoons, an Atlas for House Davian, and an Atlas for the Eridani Light Horse. Boy, probably a good thing Chad's not here. He'd be very upset that Atlas is not for House Steiner. And then finally, well, yeah, more or less finally on products, a Destiny Scale Marauder. Now, you can see the normal Marauder next to it as the tiny little figure. I don't remember what Destiny Scale is, what the actual scale is for that. But yeah, it's a resin figure. They're only going to have them a few days for the convention. It's a test product. They don't know if they're even going to be selling them after the convention or not. $245 it looks like. And you'd have to assemble them. And then there's a list of where the Kickstarter launch parties are going to be. Yeah, I'll link this page so that you can see them yourself. And then it's a preview for the Phoenix Hawk miniature, which we covered already at this point in the video because this is from the past.
Yep.
Yeah, Snort's Irregulars, if we didn't cover it, well, I don't want to ruin the surprise. It's something. It's special. But yeah, so Chad, any thoughts, questions, concerns?
I really want the flame effect for the Firestarter.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not going to come with it.
Okay, but like they're producing mechs where
they're the ones
you have removable jump jet effects.
Right.
So why not give like a removable flame effect for the Firestarter?
Well, I see your point. I think it'll just be a case of like, okay, but if you do that, why don't you make missiles firing and laser blasts and PPCs and, which you could probably do those things too. If you can do
There's not much difference between a jump jet effect and a flame effect.
I think if you look at them, there is, but...
Nah. As soon as you get the flame on something and that starts burning, there's going to be a bunch of smoke, just like from a jump jet.
And they don't quite look that way from what I've seen, but anyway, I know people make them, so I see them in the big dioramas all the time. So I'm sure someone out there can tell you how to make one for sure.
If anyone knows the link for a video for that, go ahead and post it in comments below.
But
I would be more than willing to watch it.
Yeah. So, like I said, I might end up picking up that short story just because I'm curious. Because normally I would wait till they just combine them all and print them. But we'll see. If I do, I'll let you fine folks know how it turns out. Because presumably I'll be able to read it really quickly. Because by definition, it's got to be short.
No, it's going to take forever.
No, it's a short story.
Going to take forever.
No, what could take forever is a book called Forever Faithful. Spoiler alert, it did not take forever. I have in fact finished it. So, yeah, so there you have it, folks. Some new shirts. Might pick up that Republic shirt.
Might pick up both of them.
I kind of like the Republic symbol. Never a big fan of the Republic, especially since you knew from the moment the Dark Age started, they were a faction designed to be destroyed later. So it was hard growing attached to them in any way, shape, or form.
Wait, how do you know they were going to be destroyed later?
Because no one holds terror for long. Except for Comstar, they held it for a while.
So what's going to happen in Clan Wolf?
Well, either it's going to be the beginning of overhauling the whole system to something else, which is what one of the books alludes to from like a 3250 standpoint. But they've also said, yeah, don't consider those canon. So, or they'll overextend and they'll just be smashed. And
By who?
Comstar's my guess. It'll be like, it's our planet, get out. Trust us, folks, we're not the word of Blake this time. We double pinky swear. But if you mess with us.
No. Next time they'll rip off the Comstar patch and reveal it's Clan Wolverine.
Maybe, I don't, but no, it was a case of it was a too good to last. Their whole shtick was, hey, let's have peace, and it's not called Peace Tech, it's called BattleTech. So they have to fail, and they either have to fall completely or they had to be struck down quite a bit. And it kind of looked like it was probably just going to be fall completely because they're just surrounded by enemies. I mean, every single one of the other houses wants Earth, and all the clans want Earth. So when you're the middle, and everyone around you is an enemy, that's not an enviable position. The only thing you have going for you is they're too busy fighting themselves half the time to make a move against you.
Okay. So what would they do if the Camerons return?
Well, I mean, if the Camerons returned, then the clans might find themselves in an odd situation. Because even though Nicholas Kerensky never really talked about it in clan doctrine, since their whole goal is supposedly to rebuild the Star League,
And Cameron was...
and the Camerons were central to that, I think that would cause a schism within the clans. And there'd definitely be a faction that would be like, well, clearly they'd have to be on the throne. And another faction would be like, no. How about not? And then you have the other factions that are like, guys, we shouldn't invade Earth. Like, our job is to protect them, not to fight them. But most of those guys have been wiped out, so who cares what they think?
Let's face it, most of the homeworlds for the clans have been destroyed by this
Oh,
point.
no, I don't mean the homeworld clans. There were two competing ideologies in the clans. The Crusader clans and the Warden clans. Not all the invaders were Crusader clans. I think Clan Wolf was notably on more the Warden side, at least were waffling. And I believe Clan Novacat eventually came around to the Warden ideology. So, but Clan Novacat's been all but destroyed. And Clan Wolf waffles. Right now they're on the Crusader kick. So, yeah. And then the ones that were kind of, a lot of the homeworld clans, it's more a matter of they don't want to be tainted by the inner sphere. It wasn't a matter of we need to protect them. It was, no, stay away. They're diseased. Look what happened to our brethren. And then Clan Steel Viper went on a purge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're probably destroyed.
Until their leader got killed. So, I believe it was Brett Andrews, unless I'm mistaken.
I wonder if we're going to hear anything about the
I don't know.
homeworlds anytime soon.
No one's heard anything from them since like 3085. So who knows? Like I said, they're keeping them back. It's them, Comstar, and the Camerons. Those are the boogeymen, and Clan Wolverine. Those are the boogeymen.
Those are the questions.
Yeah. Whenever sales dip, one of those four is going to come back with a vengeance. So
I'm hoping it's Cameron.
yeah, we'll see. So anyway, folks, that's the update. Keep an eye out for more of these. Check out the past ones if you want to. Like I said, I'm going to try to put the links to all this stuff down in the description because I've found out that's far better than trying to put it in the comments section. So Anyway, we're doing that now. And I've also started, like, whenever we do series like this, the links to the previous videos are also in the comments section if there's a chain of videos. So you can go back to those pretty easily. We've done some book
You
reviews.
could also just put them right up here.
Well, I found out you don't see those if you're watching on your TV.
Cool.
Because, like, Sarah was telling me, she's like, what are you talking about? So there's people out there that think I'm just crazy, apparently. Talking about links up here that don't exist because I never see them. Because if you watch it on your TV, you don't see them. You see it on your phone and on your computer, but not on your TV. However...
I did not know that. I mainly watch on my computer.
However, I did notice, at the very least on my computer, I've got to check, I don't even know where it'd be on the TV. But if you watch it in another format, if you look in the description, all the videos that are linked up here are down at the very end of the description. So, there you go. Like I said, I just picked most of those at random anyway. So, just go back to older videos, you know, things that I think are connected or things that I'm trying to get more people to watch, you know. Because this is YouTube and we all need those clicks and views. And thumbs up. Or thumbs down. I think they both move the algorithm, so.
I prefer thumbs up.
I would prefer
If
that
you give
too.
a thumbs down, put in the comment why.
Yeah, so far I think we've only had one guy do
And,
that.
you know, elaborate on it a little bit more than just what the one guy said.
Yeah, I wish you would have said something else. But,
Like,
you know,
why am I annoying?
that's all the guy said. The guy in blue is annoying. He said light blue, so that's how I know it was Chad.
Why am I annoying? I want to know this.
If you're that guy, tell us. But anyway.
Is it the voice?
I'm not going to speculate. So, anyway, by now, there's a little thing down here somewhere for our Twitter account. If you prefer to tweet as opposed to comment, that's fine. Brad posts ahead of time when our videos are going to be up, a link and the time. Just in case you're not subscribed and have a little notification bell going, which you totally should do, by the way. But yeah, that, share, like, subscribe, comment, you know, all the stuff, you know how to do it, it's YouTube. But anyway, folks, that's all for today, so we'll see you out there.